Hey guys, welcome back to Eureka, and in this video I'll be teaching you how to do the sigma notation. So what does sigma mean and what does it do? Sigma is is a way to compress the sum of numbers. Let's say you have the sum 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, right? Well, this can be written as in sigma form. It can be written as this. N goes from 1 to 5 of n. Now n is called the running index because n keeps on changing. It goes to 1, then it goes to 2, then it goes to 3, on and on until 5, right? So we start with the first value, 1, and then n goes to 2, and then n becomes 3, and then n becomes 4, and then it becomes 5, right? This is how you write it in sigma notation, and this is how we're going to take it. So let's do a small exercise before we go into the properties of sigma so you can get the general idea. Let's say, so let me erase this, give me a moment here. Let's say you have sigma as x goes from 1 to 3 of 4x, right? Well, this is equal to 4 multiplied by 1, right? Plus 4 multiplied by 2 plus 4 multiplied by 3, and that's it. 3 is the last number, right? We can simplify this. It's gonna be 4 plus 8 plus 12, right? And if you actually noticed something, this is 24. If you notice something here, we can factor out a 4. We can say 1 plus 2 plus 3, which gives us the next property of sigma. If you have sigma as x goes from one number to another number, let's say 2, of 5x, well, you can factor out this constant, yeah? I'm going to show you how again in a more beautiful fashion. So let's erase everything on the screen and let's write this down again. Let's say you have, so give it a second here. Let's say you have sigma as x goes from 1 to 3, 5 multiplied by x. Well, this is 5 times 1 plus 5 times 2 plus 5 times 3. Well, 5 can be factored out. 1 plus 2 plus 3. And this 1 plus 2 plus 3 is basically sigma as x goes from 1 to 3. Right, guys? Of x. And then you multiply this by 5 because we factored out to 5. So in other words, this expression is equal to this expression. So this expression is equal to this, and this expression is equal to this, and this expression is equal to this. This is how we prove the first property of sigma. It's called the constant property. I'm going to write it in general, using variables instead of numbers. If you have sigma, and I'm going to keep it here on the side. If you have sigma as n goes from j to k, 5n, this is the same thing as saying 5 sigma as n goes from j to k of n. Okay, they're equal. You factor out the constant. Now let's do the first property of sigma, which is the addition property. Let's say you have sigma as n goes from 1 to 4, a subscript n plus b subscript n, right? This is going to be equal to, so this is equal to a1 plus b1, right? Plus a2 plus b2, right, guys? And it's on and on until you reach 4, right? So give it a second here. Let me reach 4. And there we go. Now let's rearrange this. Let's remove the parentheses and let's put a1 plus a2 plus a3 plus a4 in one parenthesis, right? But in like two parentheses, you know what I mean. Plus 3 plus 4, right? We can do that. It's a rearranging property. b1 plus b2 plus b3 plus b4, right? Well, this seems oddly familiar, and this seems oddly familiar. You know why? Because this is equal to sigma as, let's say, n goes from 1 to 4, an, and this is equal to sigma as n goes from 1 to 4, bn, right? And then we sum them up. So it's this term plus this term. So in other words, let me erase this. Let me rewrite it down. In other words, if you have two terms and you're adding them up and you have a sigma, we can break down the sigma into two other sigmas. So it's going to be n goes from 1 to 4, a of n plus sigma as n goes from 1 to 4, b of n, right? Let me give you an example so you should understand this property even better, and maybe you'll be a sigma mathematician, which is something really stupid to do, but hopefully you should understand. Let's say you have sigma from 1 to 4, 2x plus 3, right? We can split this into sigma. Actually, let's not split this. Let me just write it down in the extended form, and let me show you, like let me reprove it. It's gonna be 2 times 3 plus 3, close brackets. Sorry about that, I actually meant to write 1, plus 2 times 2 plus 3, right guys? Plus 2 times 3 plus 3, right? Well, as you can see here, we can rewrite this as 2 times 1 plus 2 times 2 plus 2 times 3. We can put this in one big parenthesis. We can say 3 plus 3 plus 3, right? We rearranged it. Well, we know that this is equal to sigma as n goes from 1 to 3 of 3 plus, and this is equal to 2 times sigma n goes from 1 to 3 of n, right guys? Or we can say that this is equal to sigma goes from 1 to 3 to n, right? This is equal to this due to this property. Now anyways, so this expression right here plus this expression is equal to this expression, and I just showed you how, and that is called the addition property. And it can be shown if it was a subscript n minus b subscript n, that we can split the sigma into sigma an minus sigma bn, because you know, if we had minus b, well, the minus is just minus 1, and minus 1 is a constant, so we can factor it out. So let's write the second proof down. N from j to k, an plus bn is equal to, sorry about that, is equal to sigma goes from j to k, an plus sigma n goes from j to k, bn, right? Now let's prove the third property, which is the subtraction property. Subtraction property tells you if you had sigma goes from j to k, an minus bn, well, this is just equal to n equals to j to k and an minus sigma n goes from j to k, bn. Now, since minus is a constant, I'm going to prove it in the simplest way. Minus is basically equal to minus 1, so we can rewrite this like this, plus minus b, right? And according to this rule, which is what we just proved, this works because we can factor it. We can factor in the negative number, and it's going to be sigma of this number and sigma of this number, and we sum them up. That's why it works. So let me just write the third rule down, and I'll do like 2 more exercises, and I'll end the video there for you guys. Hopefully you understood. So the third rule is sigma n goes from j to k, an minus bn is equal to sigma goes from n goes from j to k, an minus n goes from j to k, bn. Right? These are the 3 properties of sigma that everyone should know. And the fourth property is, let's say n goes from 1 to k of a constant. Let that constant be 3, for example, any number, any constant. If it goes from 1 to any number, well, this is going to be equal to 3k, because we're going to keep on adding 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So now have a second to look at those properties, And I'm just gonna do an exercise. So let me just clear this out. Give me a second here, guys. Hopefully you understood everything until now. If not, put your questions in the comment below, or go to our Instagram page and ask us there. And obviously, you know, it's not only me on this channel, it's Hassan and Zaushin, so you can also ask them whenever you find them. So here we go. Let's say you had sigma, n goes from 1 to 3, 3n squared plus n, right? So let's split the sigma, right? It's the sum, it's the addition property. N goes from 1 to 3, 3n squared plus sigma n goes from 1 to 3 of n, right? And we can further split this into 3 sigma n goes from 1 to 3 of n squared, right? This is the constant rule, this is the addition rule, and this just stays the same, from 1 to 3 of n, right? Well, we can simplify this into 1 plus 2 plus 3, right? And this is 6, so this is equal to 6. And 6 plus this equation, which is what we're about to solve. 3 sigma n goes from 1 to 3 n squared, right? So it's gonna be 3 into 1 squared plus 2 squared plus 3 squared, right, guys? And this is the same thing as saying 1 plus 4 plus 9. You multiply by 3, and it's 3 times 14, which is going to be equal to 42. And we put 42 over here. So the answer is going to be equal to 48. Let's do another example, and for you to understand, hopefully. Let's say you had sigma as n goes from 2 to 5 of n, right? Now, we can't solve this by just saying the answer is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. We can't say that because that's wrong. This is not equal to this. You know why? Because n starts from 2. So what we should do is we should actually start from 2, and we can say this is equal to 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. Okay, I just needed to clarify this so you guys can understand. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you understood. And as always, easy.